On-field drills for the scouting combine start tonight. So all we've heard all week, right, is rumor after rumor. But we really have no hard evidence of anything. We really don't know what our teams are looking at. We have an idea of what our teams are looking at. And for the Minnesota Vikings, we know we need to help. We got to fix the offensive guard position, the interior defensive line, find corners, yada, yada, yada. We've been through this, right? Running backs and stuff like that. But another thing we didn't really take in mind was what are the Minnesota Vikings going to do at the quarterback position? I think a lot of us already assume it's the J.J. McCarthy era or we re-sign Sam Darnold. We really aren't looking at any other aspects of this. But what if I told you in 2025, the Minnesota Vikings could do something absolutely crazy, wild, out of this world, interesting? A bunch of words you could say about this. What if Shedeur Sanders falls to the Minnesota Vikings or the Minnesota Vikings trade up and draft Shedeur Sanders as the new franchise? Doubt it's going to happen, but let's talk about it before we do. Shout out to our affiliate partner, Green Gridiron. If you want one of these mini helmets, feel free to hit the link I have pinned in the comment section. It's also in the description. Use the promo code MINSYN, MINSYN, at checkout to receive a small discount on your purchase. If they already have, they have college helmets, NFL helmets, fully customizable ones. They also have helmets you can wear on a football field. And not only do they have the mini helmets, they actually have the life-size helmets as well of your favorite team. So if that's something you would like, hit that link in the comment section or the description and use the promo code MINSYN, MINSYN, at checkout to receive a small discount on your purchase. And if you want even more off that purchase, if they already have a current deal going on, you can actually stack that promo code to do so. So let's get right into it. Shedeur Sanders going to the Minnesota Vikings. Is it possible? What do I think? Look, crazier things have happened, right? We've seen teams do just insane things. So of course this could happen. Will it? No. If you're a true fan of the Minnesota Vikings, you know that this isn't our MO. We drafted a quarterback last year at the 10th overall pick, but I was scrolling, looking for some news today, just kind of, looking at the rumors, seeing what the Vikings could add, what's the possibility of, running backs, defensive line, anything of that nature. And then I came across Shedeur Sanders sporting a Minnesota Vikings hat at the scouting combine. So let's get into it. Before we make assumptions and stuff like that, let's see what this is all about. Now, the Minnesota Vikings are meeting with all sorts of players this week at the NFL Combine. The importance of these sessions cannot be overstated either. Remember, half of the Vikings roster is scheduled to hit free agency on March 12th, so how general manager Kwesi Adofo-Mensah and his front office navigate the draft process over the next 2 months will be absolutely crucial to the success of this team, both in 2025 and in the future. The first decision they need to make is at quarterback. That's why around the combine this week, there's a lot of talk surrounding what Minnesota will do with 2024 starting quarterback Sam Darnold, who is due to hit free agency in less than 2 weeks, along with all those other pending Viking undrafted free agents. Now, one thing the Minnesota Vikings are not expected to do this offseason is trade up in the NFL draft to take a top quarterback like they did last April when they moved up one spot in order to secure Michigan quarterback J.J. McCarthy. Now, after a season of recovery from 2 meniscus surgeries, he is the betting favorite to be the Vikings quarterback 1 in 2025. With that being said, what if I told you that one of the most polarizing quarterback prospects of our lifetime seems to be sending out signals this week at the NFL Combine in the direction of our favorite football team? Because that's exactly what happened Wednesday when Colorado quarterback Shedeur Sanders was spotted outside of Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis with a Minnesota Vikings hat hanging from his backpack, along with 3 other teams: the Browns, the Saints, and maybe Jets. So you take that how you will. I have my own 2 cents, and we'll get to that in a second. Now, arguments are raging on the internet as to the motive behind Sanders' choices, but let's be real. Those hats are not picked at random. But that begs to question, why are the Vikings hanging there? Does Shedeur Sanders really believe he has any chance of landing at the Minnesota Vikings in the draft next month? It makes sense that Sanders would be interested in wearing purple given the quarterback acumen of Kevin O'Connell and the player-friendly environment at TCO Performance Center. With that being said, Shedeur and Miami's Cam Ward are undoubtedly the two best quarterbacks in the draft class. Both will most likely or almost certainly be taken in the top 10. So cool. Shedeur Sanders spotted wearing or having a Minnesota Vikings hat hanging from his backpack with three others: Browns, Saints, and Jets. So you hear the word, or you hear that he's sporting a Minnesota Vikings hat. You're thinking, oh my goodness. Well, he probably has it because he sat in a meeting with front office, with ownership, and head coach Kevin O'Connell just to kind of talk X's and O's. Maybe if there's a chance he falls down to where the Vikings are picking, does Minnesota say, hey, maybe we do take a chance on him? Maybe we do have two young quarterbacks on cheap deals. Maybe that's just a route we should go. And then you look at the other three teams, the Browns, the Saints, and the Jets. What do they have in common? Other than the Saints, sort of. The Browns and the Jets are poverty. They're not great. The Saints choke in the biggest moments. The Minnesota Vikings like to choke in the biggest moments. And if you can hate that take, if you will, it's the truth. If you're a fan, if you watched every single game, every single season, you'd understand that. We choke. So are those hats there because he's saying, I'm interested, I would be okay with going to those teams? Or are those hats there because he's saying, yeah, maybe not. These are the four teams I really don't want to end up going to. The Browns at number 2. I'm not sure where the Jets are. I believe they're top 10 or maybe just outside the top 10, and same with the Saints. Minnesota's sitting around, 24, 23 or something like that. So we don't really have a top 10 pick, or we don't have a top 10 pick, if you will. So I'm not really sure what this message sends, other than the fact that we can speculate that there's a chance Minnesota could be in play for Shedeur Sanders. There's a chance that he could fall in this year's draft because, let's be honest, yeah, he might be polarizing and he might be the son of Deion Sanders, but who is Shedeur Sanders without Travis Hunter? We're not 100% sure. I think Shedeur has a lot of question marks, or more question marks than he does, for sure, talent and stuff like that. I think there's more question marks surrounding Shedeur than anything. And what team is going to want to take a chance on him? I mean, obviously, I would if I was a GM. I'd be like, hey, this is the son of Deion Sanders. Why not take a chance on a Hall of Famer's kid? He's been through it. He knows the process. He's going to work hard. He's going to have all those things that you need him to be a professional. Quarterback's a very tough position in this league. It's not just something you can pick up one day and go out there and be the best at. It's very tough. You have to work at it. Shedeur still has a lot of work to do. We've seen it in the college level. How will he pan out in the NFL level? He might be a work in progress, but it might be a work in progress that you should be willing to take. And if he falls to Minnesota, I would have no problem taking Shedeur Sanders for our future. Plain and simple. We could have J.J. McCarthy and Shedeur Sanders. If one doesn't work, you ship out or you go to the other one. Plain and simple. And you also maybe sign a third quarterback, somebody that's very cheap, a veteran that's been in this league. And if you have to, if you lose a couple games, so be it. But at least you took a chance. Shedeur Sanders could end up being a Minnesota Vikings. I think it's crazy, but crazier things have happened. You guys let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Drop a like and subscribe to the channel. It'd be much, much appreciated. Have a great rest of the night, folks, and Skol Vikes.